Hi, and welcome to Fantasy Points. This is your host, Marshall. I'm here with Nate.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, we're here to talk everything fantasy. We're focusing on football right now, but we do play basketball, even NASCAR, so there will be some shows that we talk about other things, but if you're a fantasy nerd, this is your place. A little bit about me and Nate. We play every year. We've played in the same league 4 years now. I've won the Super Bowl. He's won the Super Bowl. So
Defending right now.
Yeah. But, we're pretty much here to talk about how last season finished up, surprises and everything. Get ready for this new football season coming up here in about 7 weeks. So, you cool with that?
I'm very cool with that. I think we jump right in.
Right on. So today we're going to focus on our top 6 picks for every position. We're basing it on our league settings. A little bit about our league starting out is we love bonuses. We love everything that is fantasy and crazy points and all that. So it's not a standard league. So a lot of the projections you look at on websites, if you're doing your own team, make sure that your settings are set the way you're picking. And when you draft, make sure you draft accordingly. Because I've learned even in doing mocks, a lot of the settings are different. And you see guys at different rounds that you wouldn't see in your own personal league or whatever, So Nate, you want to do first?
I still would start with QBs. I think that's the most productive. Everybody knows what that position is, and I think we were in pretty much an agreement who's number one in any standard format, in our league, any league, and I think that's Drew Brees.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've got Drew Brees first.
Oh well, see, first debate right off.
I know, and I'm surprised because it is your boy that I've got first.
A-Rod, yeah. I won the league last
Aaron
year with
Rodgers.
A-Rod and took him first last year. Very, very complete player, but again, when you get into our league settings and the consistency Drew Brees brings out, I wish I'd have had Drew Brees last year, and I still won my league.
I agree. You're right, man. And, we talked about the settings before, and I'm sitting here giving warnings, make sure you check your settings. And I really think between Rodgers and Brees, though, I think most people would be happy with either.
Yeah, maybe splitting hairs a little, but...
So does that mean you've got Rodgers too?
I do.
So see, there you go.
Brees is second on your list?
Either way, I do. I got Rodgers 1, Brees 2. So you got 3?
Peyton Manning. And, you can't beat Mr. Consistency. I was really low last year, bit me in the butt. I can't underestimate how important Peyton Manning is to any offense. And seeing him step in and do what he did, he's consistently, I think, a number 3.
He makes it his offense, and he's already made Thomas and Decker both huge fantasy assets, and any other quarterback there,
doesn't.
I know Tebow had to throw in the playoffs to Thomas, but it's Peyton Manning, and he got a dude named Wes Welker, and I know this isn't a receiver segment, but you had a guy that gets 110 catches a year, getting them from Tom Brady too, who him and Peyton, it helps when you come from a quarterback that good to a quarterback that good, So, yeah, I'm right there with you. I've got Peyton 3, too. Then 4 for me, I've got your other boy, Matt Stafford.
I really like Matt Stafford. I do. But, I have number 4, the guy you just mentioned, Tom Brady. I know, you gotta bring up the Hernandez, the injured Gronk. Welker's now gone. But it's still Tom Brady. He's done his whole career with nobodies. He's still going to throw 30 touchdowns, 4,500 yards. You can't beat that. You know what he's going to do.
He makes people stars.
That's right.
He does, man. And I've actually got Brady 5. So I had to bump Stafford up. We talked about it earlier, Stafford getting Reggie Bush. I know a lot of people might not be high on him, but that definitely helps Stafford's stock as a quarterback because, you've already got the best receiver in the league in Calvin Johnson. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'm pretty sure Matt Stafford threw like 710 times last year.
He broke our all-time record.
And, we get PPR, I'm pretty sure we get like half a point of completion, again in our league with bonuses. So even something like that, I remember there was a week a couple of years ago when Brent had Stafford. He threw like 3 pick sixes.
Mm-hmm.
Was getting sacked like crazy, still ended up with like 45 points on the night.
It's all about the yardage.
They get a lot of late points. They're playing from behind a lot. So I had Stafford 4, but yeah, like I said, I've got Brady 5. So Brady's right there, and I'm like you. I don't think Brady's going to have a down year. He might have a bit of a hiccup, trouble getting a rapport with guys, but it's Tom Brady, man. It's the Patriots. After the Hernandez scandal, they got to prove that they're still the best. So,
yeah. And the thing with Tom Brady, you mentioned it, he makes stars. You just can't argue that. My curveball list, my number 5 is Cam Newton. We saw his rookie season, the first half of the year, he kind of tapered off the second half. Last year, it tapered off the second half, or the first half of the season, he gunned it all the second half of the season. I think maybe his third year, he's figured it out. It's going to be a whole season of putting it all together with the rushing yards, the passing yards, the bonuses. It's all going to come together. Cam Newton's going to be a beast.
I do like Cam Newton. I mean, and I'm usually one that defends him, even though I'm an Alabama fan and he did what he did to us. But anyway, we'll move on from that. I do like Cam Newton. I really would have liked it more if the Panthers would have gave him another weapon. I don't know. I know Steve Smith's there. I know Greg Olsen had a great year. Their running game is always 60%, 70%. But if they would have got someone decent, at least a name or someone that's dependable, I probably would have had Cam. But, and I do hope that he has a better season. I hated seeing his sophomore year go down from what it was after such a good rookie year. But, I had Brady at 5. I actually don't even have Cam in my 6. If we had 10 or 12, I'm sure Cam would get in there. But, after Brady, I went Matty Ice.
Oh, what?
Number 6, Matty Ice.
You can't deny what Matty Ice has done.
Talk about weapons.
Yeah,
Talking about weapons.
You're talking about people to throw to. He has maybe arguably the best receiving core. Roddy, Julio,
Got Steven Jackson
this year. Gonzalez is going to come back another season. I see it. I really do. But I think we saw his ceiling last year. I think you know what you're going to get when you draft Matt Ryan.
It's a high ceiling.
It's a high ceiling. I think you can't. You get him on your team, you're not going to be disappointed, especially the value you probably go out and get him at. But my number 6 is a guy you've already mentioned, Matt Stafford. He's my boy. I had him as coming out party 2 years ago. He threw 40 touchdowns, 5,000 yards, whatever it was. I'm high on him this year again. And again, you're going back to drafting, the value that Matt Stafford is on any board, he's pretty low because quarterback is so deep that, if I can get Matt Stafford in the middle rounds, I'm going to be stoked. So
yeah. No, I mean, I agree. And remember last year, Stafford was way higher than people thought he should be. Mm-hmm. A lot of people took him. There was people taking him at the end of the first. I remember that. And it seems like he didn't have a good year, but, I mean, he did. He's thrown for 4,000 yards like 3 seasons in a row. 5 years ago, there was people that didn't throw for 4,000 yards ever. And now there's 3 and 4 guys doing it every year. I guess now we talk about quarterbacks. What about the ones we left off? What about, you got any more that you wanted to get in there? I know you had more picks than me, but, there's some guys that have dropped this year that people would have considered.
Well, I think you got to go
top
with
fantasy quarterbacks.
I think as a guy you got to go with that got paid this offseason as a guy that's probably not getting as much hype as he should, but he's just Mr. Dependable in fantasy, and it's Romo. He just does it. Regular season-wise, yardage-wise, they're just going to throw it a lot, and so I always like Romo in any fantasy format, especially in our league.
You ever wonder if he played for someone other than the Cowboys, how good he'd be without all the pressure? What if Romo played for the Bengals, like Andy Dalton or something? I've always wondered that because he seems like a bit fragile. Anyway,
he does,
and
I
like Romo too. He's another guy, 4,000 yards, and I know it seems crazy to think he's under the radar because he's on the radar for everyone, usually for negative reasons. But no, I've had Romo before.
Yeah,
he is.
You say what he wants as a pro player. I honestly think this: Romo might not be the same player if he played for any other team. Cause I don't know how many chances you're going to give him. But fantasy-wise, he's a dude to play. And I like him.
What about Eli?
I like Eli. Not very high on him this year.
About the picks.
It's more about the sacks and the picks and just the erratic play.
But talking about our league too, picks aren't that much in our league.
It's not.
And they just signed Victor Cruz to the big deal.
The big deal. And Nick
should be healthy.
Should be healthy. Looking to get paid. He's in a contract year. Knock on wood for Nick. Everybody wants to see everybody stay healthy. You want your dudes to be beasts that are beasts. But I think after the rookie class last year, Eli just keeps falling off the board. mean, if you want to wait on a quarterback, you can probably get Eli in the 9th, 10th round. And that's probably good value. He's probably still going to throw close to 4,000 yards, maybe a little over, maybe a little under. Who knows? That offense does throw the ball a lot, but their receiving core has a lot of ifs. I mean, even Victor Cruz was hurt last year, but he still totaled like 1,100 yards.
I think defenses have kind of figured Cruz out a little bit.
Yeah, and in the slot, it's hard to do that. And so,
but he is the highest paid slot receiver now. Even though Amendola and Welker both just signed new contracts, Victor Cruz is still the highest paid slot.
yeah, and
So you mentioned rookies there. That's the follow-up. We're going to do quarterback.